Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. Tonight, we're taking a slow step into the shadows of the past, to a time of whispers, wooden carts, and the chill of stone walls. A time of plagues, punishments, and pottage that wasn't nearly as charming as some of you may think. Forget what the Hollywood movies showed you. No knights in shining armor here. Just the dark and often uncomfortable truth. Here, we leave the noise of the present behind and slip gently into history's shadow. But before we slip into the story, if you genuinely enjoy this kind of videos, where history meets atmosphere and bedtime meets curiosity, consider tapping that like button and subscribing. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. I really enjoy seeing how far this community reaches across the globe. Now go on, dim your lights, and settle into your cozy bed. Now, let's slip into the story. You wake up to the smell of manure, wood smoke, and something slightly sour. The air is damp, and your bed, it's not a bed, it's a pile of hay. Your neck is stiff, your back aches, and there's a flea biting your ankle. You sit up. The ceiling is made of dark wooden beams, blackened with soot. There's no glass in the windows, just open slits covered with thin, oiled linen. A rooster crows outside, loud and shrill. Congratulations, you've made it to the 14th century. You try to stand, but your clothes are rough. Coarse wool, scratchy against your skin. There's no underwear. And are those wooden shoes? Yes, they are. You take a breath and immediately regret it. Outside, the village smells like a mixture of rotting cabbage, animals, sweat, and a faint note of sewage. Because in this time, toilets, as you know them, don't exist. Waste is dumped into ditches. If you're lucky, you'll find a public latrine, a hole shared by dozens, cleaned rarely. Welcome to day one. Your stomach rumbles. You're hungry. But the middle-age pantry is not like yours. Forget cereal, forget toast, forget coffee. You're handed a chunk of stale bread, made with coarse ground rye or barley, and maybe some thin ale. No milk unless you're a child, no fruit unless it's in season, and certainly no sugar. And eggs? Too precious. They're for trading, not eating. You try to chew the bread. It's hard, dense, slightly moldy. You force it down with a sip of ale. It's warm, flat. You grimace. That's breakfast. As the sun sets, you huddle inside a one-room cottage with 10 other people. There's one fire in the middle and no chimney. Smoke fills the air, burning your throat and eyes. You sleep fully clothed on a pile of straw. Rats scurry nearby. Your breath fogs in the cold night air. And as you drift off, sore, cold, and homesick, you realize this is only day one. You awaken in the pitch black. The fire has burned to embers. Someone is coughing. A deep, rattling sound that echoes in the silence. It's not you. It's someone else in the room. They're wheezing in the dark, wrapped in wool, shivering. You wonder if it's contagious. It probably is. You pull the scratchy blanket tighter and try not to breathe deeply. But it doesn't matter. The concept of germs won't be understood for centuries. Here, you're just another soul waiting to get sick. The door creaks. Someone's returned late from the fields. They trip over a sleeping child and fall hard. No light, no candles. A single stub of tallow was used hours ago and melted down to nothing. The darkness is complete. and not metaphorically. Truly, utterly dark. In the morning, the bells toll. Not a clock, but the church bell, the only timekeeper that matters. You rise, your back stiffer than before, and are herded along with others to morning prayers. The church is everything. It owns the land. It commands respect. It dictates what you believe and how you live. And you? You don't know the prayers. You don't understand Latin. You hesitate. Someone glares at you. Worse. Someone whispers the word heretic. You're confused. And that's dangerous. Very dangerous. Because in this world, doubt is not a curiosity. It's a threat. You cross yourself and mumble a few words. You're lucky this time. After prayers, you follow a few villagers toward a small green field. A boy is crying. A woman is pleading. A man stands tied to a post. You don't know what he did. Maybe he stole a loaf of bread. Maybe he insulted a noble. Maybe his pig wandered onto church land. Whatever it was, the punishment is brutal and public. Everyone is here to watch. It's not meant to be hidden. No trial, no lawyer. Just a priest muttering a prayer and then the whip, or worse. You look away. At midday, you wander near the edge of the village, toward the woods. You remember forests as peaceful places. A nice hike. Some deer, maybe. Not here. The woods are feared. They're home to wolves, bandits, witches, and worse. Superstition weaves through the air like mist. Children are warned not to stray far, not just for safety, but because the world is full of unseen forces. You hear whispers of fair folk, of spirits in the trees. Some believe, some pretend not to, but no one walks the woods at night. No one. You take a few steps and stop. You think you hear a voice. You turn around and walk quickly back to the village. A child trips near you, scrapes her knee. She cries. You reach into your mind for neosporin, for band-aids, for something. But of course, there is nothing. An older woman steps in, spits on a rag and dabs the cut. It's all they have. Infections are common, wounds fester, even a scratch can kill. There are no antibiotics, no vaccines. In this time, death is always nearby, quiet, waiting. But not all is grim. As evening comes, the villagers gather near the fire. Someone plays a simple tune on a flute. A child claps. Someone tells a story of dragons and brave knights. For a moment, there's laughter. And you realize something. They don't know what they're missing. They don't dream of iPhones or air conditioning. They don't grumble about missing out on TikTok or DoorDash. This is all they know. And within it, there is joy too, hard-earned, flickering like firelight. You smile, but as you shift, your side aches, your throat is sore. You're tired, and not in the modern way, deeply, deeply tired. And you know, you still wouldn't last. You awaken to silence. No rooster, no fire crackling, just the wind. Outside, the villagers whisper. Doors are shut. Children are kept inside. A horse-drawn cart rolls slowly by, and on it, covered with cloth, lie the still bodies of 3 people. The plague has reached the village. You remember reading about it once. The Black Death. A sickness that took nearly half of Europe. It begins with fever, then boils, then blood. No one knows how it spreads. Some think it's bad air, Others blame cats or Jews or sin. No one knows how to cure it. No one knows how to stop it. And you? You're standing there helpless. Your heart pounds. You're not sick, yet. But fear spreads faster than any disease. You shut the door and sit down, clutching your knees. Later that day, a man comes through the village. He wears a mask, long-nosed, like a bird. He is what passes for a plague doctor. His robes smell of vinegar and herbs. He does not speak. He does not heal. He simply marks the doors of the sick with a red X. You ask if there is anything to be done. He looks at you. She speaks of a cure made from garlic, salt, and crushed frog. Or maybe it's prayer. Or leeches. You nod. You don't argue, because in this time there is no science, only desperate hope. You decide to leave the village. Maybe it's safer elsewhere. Maybe the next town will have medicine, or understanding, or clean water. So you walk. But the roads are not safe. The forest is deeper than you remembered. Every snapping twig sounds like danger. There are no signs, no phones, no GPS. The only map you have is the sun. You pass beggars, soldiers, a monk who mutters to himself. Night falls. You sleep beneath a tree, cloaked in dew. You hear a wolf howl. You don't sleep again that night. Travel in this time is slow, painful, and dangerous. Most people never leave their village. Now you know why. Eventually, you arrive at a manor. Tall walls, banners, guards. The local lord lives here. You think maybe he will help. But you're met with suspicion. The guards shove you back. Peasants don't speak to lords. Peasants don't enter manors. You are not welcome. You try to explain that you're from a different time, a different world. They laugh. Then they grow silent. You're lucky to walk away. In this world, power is not shared, it is held, and it is enforced. You wander back to the road, throat dry, dignity shattered. You come across a town surrounded by smoke and shouting. There is a battle, not a grand one, just another squabble over land and pride. You see young men barely older than children holding swords, screaming, bleeding, dying. You duck behind a wall. You can't breathe. You see someone, an archer, stare at you. You raise your hands. You're not part of this. But in this time, war doesn't care. You are either with a side or you're in the way. You run. You don't stop until your legs fail. As night falls, you find a stream. You sit beside it. The stars above are the only lights. You hear nothing but the wind in the trees. You're cold, dirty, frightened, hungry, and aching in places you didn't know could ache. But as you listen to the water and the wind, your heart slows. You realize something. You've made it through the day. You didn't belong here, not for a minute, but somehow you lasted. And as your eyes begin to close, the stars shimmer, just a little too brightly. The air hums with a sound too soft to name, and the world begins to fade. Dawn spills grey over the muddy path as you walk. Your bones ache. You'd hope the moss beneath the tree might soften your sleep. It didn't. The wind pulled at your blanket, what little you had anyways, and the cold gnawed through your wool. You rise slowly. Your hands are stiff, your mouth dry. The village is far behind you now, but ahead, just more road, winding, empty. until you see him. A boy, perhaps 10 years old, stands barefoot at a fork in the path. His clothes are patched and ragged. He holds a wooden stick like a sword. His eyes meet yours. "You lost?" he asks. You nod. He points left. "That way's the marsh, right's the old mill. Don't go straight. That road doesn't go anywhere anymore," he said. You ask him what happened to it. He shrugs. No one came back. He offers you a crust of bread. You break it in half. It's tough, but you chew together in silence. Then he's gone. Just like that. You choose the old mill. The mill is a ruin. Stones half sunken, wheel broken, roof collapsed. But you step inside anyway. Something about it feels less dangerous, or maybe you're too tired to care. Inside it's cooler, smells of mold and wet wood. You hear water rushing beneath the floor. There's someone there. A woman sits by the crumbled hearth. Her hair is grey, her eyes sharp. She wears no shoes. "Come to steal?" she asks calmly. You shake your head. "You stink of yesterday," she says. "Of things that haven't happened yet." You don't speak. She waves her hand. "Sit. Warm yourself. You'll leave when it's time." You sit. You don't know why, but your hands stop trembling. "Not all of us feared the world," she says. "Some of us spoke to it, listened, danced." You listen to her talk, of old gods, old names, older forests. When you wake again, she is gone. The hearth is still warm. You follow the river. It carves through hills like a vein of silver. The path narrows. Trees lean close. You hear birds, insects, even laughter. Then nothing. Silence falls like snow. The birds are gone. Your feet grow heavy. The path seems longer than it should be. You stop for breath, but your breath comes short. A shadow moves across the path. A man? No. A shape. It doesn't look at you, but you feel seen. You walk faster, then faster still. The silence presses against your ears. Then you stumble into a clearing, and sound returns. A babbling brook, wind in the trees, your heartbeat. You sit, gasping. Whatever that place was, it didn't want you there. Or maybe it wanted you too much. A flicker of orange light through the trees. You follow it. A woman, older than time, walks with a lantern. Her face is lined, but her eyes are kind. She hums a song that makes you feel 6 years old. You ask where she's going. "Same place as everyone," she says. "Some of us just take the longer way." You ask if she'll guide you. "I already am," she says with a wink. You walk beside her. The lantern's glow keeps the shadows back. Then you blink, and she's gone. But the path ahead is lit by moonlight. Just enough. A village? At last? You approach. Thatched roofs, lanterns, laughter. A man plays a fiddle. Children chase each other. You're greeted with smiles, offered stew. Someone hands you a wooden bowl. It's warm, spicy. You eat. You laugh. You sit by the fire and feel human again. Someone asks your name. You say it. Everyone grows silent for some reason. The music stops. They stare. And slowly, the village begins to fade. The stew vanishes from your hand. The fire dims. You are sitting in an empty field. The silence is back. And now, you feel truly alone. You climb for hours. The hills rise like sleeping giants. The wind grows colder, sharp against your skin. Your legs tremble. Hunger claws at your belly. Then, through the mist, you see it. A fortress. Tall, stone, ancient. You approach with caution. The gates are open, but no one greets you. Inside, it's strangely quiet. Halls echo with your footsteps. Tapestries hang like frozen stories. Candles flicker, but there's no smoke, no flame. You find a great hall, a feast laid out, bread, fruit, meat, wine, golden goblets and silver knives, but no people. You hesitate. Then you eat. It tastes real, sweet, rich, warm. You sleep in a feather bed that night, alone in the fortress. But as dreams take you, you hear whispers from the stone, voices of those who stayed too long, and in your sleep you promise, you won't linger. You wake to the sound of bells, not the bright clang of village chimes, but deep tolls, slow, hollow, as if wrung from beneath the ground. The fortress is darker now. The windows that once held morning light are black with soot. The tapestries are torn. Your bed has grown cold though you lie in it. You rise. Every step echoes louder than the last. The feast in the hall has rotted. Flies buzz in the still air. You search for the gate. It is closed now, bolted. A voice calls your name. A whisper, just at the edge of hearing. You follow. Down stone stairs, through narrow halls, into the deep belly of the keep. You find a door, iron and rusted. Behind it, the bells toll louder. They don't stop. You press your ear to the metal, and you hear them. Voices, hundreds of them, singing in a tongue you do not know, but you understand. They are trapped. You step back. You do not open the door, but part of you wants to. You turn and run, up, back, toward light. When you find the main gate again, it is open. You do not look back. You do not listen for the bells, but they follow you anyway. When you wake, the air smells of ash. The feast is gone. The hall is bare. The feather bed beneath you is now straw, damp and coarse. The walls are cracked. Vines crawl through the windows. You rise, and your footsteps stir dust that hasn't moved in years. You leave the fortress behind without looking back. The hills are quiet, the road ahead unfamiliar. But stranger still, so is the road behind. You turn, trying to find the trail you climbed just days ago. It's gone, swallowed by grass and fog, as if the path only led one way. Forward, you walk. A mile, then 2, until you come across a stone. It's not large, just a marker, barely taller than your knee. But it bears your name, freshly carved. The stone is warm. You don't touch it again. You keep walking. You follow the road because there is nothing else to follow. The land begins to dip, and the trees arch overhead, forming a cathedral of branches. The light grows green and dim. Moss coats everything, stones, trunks, even your own boots, it seems. And then you see it. A door in the earth, wooden, carved with strange symbols, almost breathing. You push it open. Stairs descend beneath a tree so wide you cannot see its edges. The air is cold and sweet, like lavender and snow. Candles flicker along the walls, but there are no flames, just light. At the bottom is a chapel. No pews, No altar, only roots, thick as your arms, winding through stone. At the center, a single pool of water, still as glass. You kneel beside it, not by choice. You look into the pool. You see your reflection. Then, behind it, someone else. You turn, but no one is there. Only the roots, only the silence. You leave without drinking, but you carry the image of the other face with you, not because you recognized it, but because it looked like it recognized you. You descend from the fortress before dawn, its windows like empty eyes watching your every step. Fog clings to the ground, wrapping the world in white. By midday, you come upon a small chapel, half swallowed by ivy and thyme. Its steeple leans, and the bell above sways gently in the wind, though the air is still. You push the door open. Dust and silence greet you. The pews are splintered, but intact. A single stained glass window remains, casting a patch of colored light across the floor. An angel, its face worn away by centuries. You sit, because there is nowhere else to go. The wood groans beneath you. Then, a flutter. A crow. Then another, and another. Soon, the rafters above are black with them, watching, waiting. They do not caw. They do not move, just eyes glinting in the half-light. You try to stand, but your knees fail you. You look up. One crow flutters down, perches on the broken altar. It speaks, not in words, but in memory. You see a town burning, a child lost, a promise made in the dark. You see yourself, older, colder. You look away. When you look back, the crows are gone. The light has shifted. You are alone again. But something has changed in you, like a hinge finally turned. You leave the chapel. You do not look back. You descend from the hills as the fortress disappears behind a veil of fog. The trees thicken again, oaks and yew, tangled together like old secrets. Their trunks are carved, initials, symbols, entire stories etched deep into the bark. You run your fingers across one. Adeline was here. Adeline was lost. Another 3 days without fire, one without hope. Each tree holds a name, hundreds, thousands, some in languages you do not know. You feel them watching. Not the trees, the names, the memories tied to them like threads in a loom. The forest hums with them. Each footstep stirs their voices, and then you hear your own. Not your voice, but your name, whispered once, then again. A tree ahead glows faintly. You approach, heart thudding. Your name is there, carved deep, fresh. You didn't put it there. You step back. The ground is soft. The sky has darkened, though no sun set. You run. Branches scrape your arms. Roots grasp at your ankles. The names grow louder, chanting, calling, pleading. You burst from the tree line into light. The forest holds still behind you, and your name still echoes in your ears. You find the pool at dusk, still as glass, black as ink. It rests in a hollow of stone, surrounded by crooked trees. No ripples, no wind. You lean over it. Your reflection stares back. But something is wrong. It moves before you do. It raises a hand when yours is still. It smiles when you don't. You step away, but the reflection remains. You speak. It does not mimic you. It replies, "You're close," it says. "To what?" you ask. The reflection tilts its head. "To the place where dreams go when they die." Then it vanishes. The pool goes dark. You back away, heart thudding. The path behind you is gone. Only silence and stars. Morning finds you on cobbled stones. A gate stands open. Beyond it, roses, ivy, twisting hedges, a garden, wild and strange. In its center, a clock tower, no taller than a cottage, ticking softly. Inside, an old man winds gears the size of your head. He doesn't look up. "You're late," he says. "For what?" He shrugs. "Something, surely." You help him polish brass arms, reset sundials, clean sand from an hourglass the size of a barrel. He offers tea made from fennel and thyme. "Time's not a straight road," he says. "More like a spiral staircase." You ask what's at the top. He looks at you sadly. No one gets to the top. You leave before the bells chime. He doesn't say goodbye. A hole yawns open in your path, not wide, but deep. You lower yourself in. It becomes a tunnel, then a cavern. Then something else. Voices. Soft, harmonizing. You follow the sound. A chamber blooms before you. Candles line the walls, and in the center, figures cloaked in gray, singing. Not words, but memory. Notes full of longing, loss, love. They turn to you, dozens of faces, young and old, glowing faintly. One steps forward and places a hand on your chest. You feel every sorrow you've carried. Then it lifts. You sob without meaning to. The choir nods once. Then they vanish. You're alone in the dark, but lighter somehow. You reach a clearing at dawn. 2 stags face each other. Silent, immense. Their antlers the size of trees, tangled in stillness. Neither moves. You watch. Minutes pass. Then one speaks, not with words, but with presence. "You must choose," it says. The other replies, "Not all paths are forward." You ask what the choice is. One lowers its antlers to the sky. Wind howls through the branches. You close your eyes. When you open them, they're gone. And the path before you is split. One climbs into mist, the other descends into shadow. You walk toward the mist, and you do not look back. No, it appears without warning, an arch of stone in a grove of silverleaf trees. No walls, just shelves, miles high. Scrolls, books, clay tablets. The air smells of smoke and ink. A librarian with one eye and many rings greets you. No borrowing, she warns, but you may read what remembers you. You wander the stacks. Your hands tingle as you pass spines. One glows faintly. You open it. It's your story, but not just yours. Things you haven't done, places you haven't gone, people you haven't met, all waiting. You close the book. The pages feel warm. Before you leave, the librarian presses a scrap into your palm. It says only, "You are still becoming." The mist thickens. You walk for what feels like hours. Then, suddenly, stone beneath your feet. A bridge, narrow, suspended over nothing. At its end, a gate of iron and bone. Locked. You search for a key. There is none. Then you notice the lock is shaped like a hand. Yours. You press your palm to it. It burns, then clicks. The gate swings inward, slowly, groaning like something ancient waking from sleep. You step through. Behind you, the gate vanishes. You are in a valley now. The grass glows faintly, blue, like moonlit ice. Scattered through the field are stones, flat, smooth, each etched with a single name. Some are familiar, your teacher, your grandmother, a name you whispered once as a child. One stone is blank. You kneel beside it. Your breath fogs the air. You don't write your name, not yet. Instead, you trace the edge of the stone and whisper, "Not today," and the ground seems to sigh. A forest burned long ago. Black trunks, white ash, no birds, no wind. At the center, an enormous tree stands twisted and charred, but alive, barely. A figure slumps against its roots, crowned in rust, robes of soot, eyes open as you approach, eyes like dying stars. You walk far, the king says. Do you know why? You shake your head, because you forget you've done this before. You ask what he means. He laughs. It sounds like breaking wood. You always forget, but the tree remembers. Then he crumbles to ash, and the tree blooms, just once, with a single white flower. You don't pick it, but you remember it. You descend. A stair spirals down through earth and silence. Torches flicker as you pass, but there's no flame. At the bottom, a chamber of mirrors, but none show you. They show dreams. A child flying over rooftops, a mother lost in a storm, a wolf chasing the moon, a field of clocks, all ticking backward. One mirror is cracked. In it, you glimpse yourself, as you were before this began, and something else, something watching you. You turn, but you are alone. When you look again, the cracked mirror is gone. So is the chamber. You lie down, and the world exhales. You wake to birdsong. The path is before you again, familiar now, curved just so. Pebbles you've stepped on before, trees you remember. The air smells like yesterday and tomorrow, woven together. Ahead, a signpost. Home. Further, still becoming. You smile, though your eyes sting. You walk forward. The road bends, then narrows, then becomes light itself, and somewhere far off you hear the boy with the stick call out, "See? I told you it wouldn't be easy." You laugh and keep going. You find it by accident, a door, low and wooden, half hid beneath a hill of moss and forgetfulness. You knock. Once, twice, it opens. Inside, warmth, light, a kettle whistles, a cat blinks at you from the hearth. There's bread on the table, a chair pulled out, waiting, and someone just out of view, humming a song your mother used to sing. You step in. No one speaks. You eat. You rest. The bed smells of lavender and old books, and when you wake there is a note on the table. You were never truly lost, just walking in the dark. You step back into the world, softer, slower. The road stops, not ends, stops. Ahead, a mirror as tall as the sky, rooted in nothing. The air hums. You approach. In it, you see everything. The forest, the fortress, the boy, the woman with the lantern, the king in the ash tree, all of it. All at once, and you, but not as you are, as you could be, or once were. You reach for it, the mirror ripples and shatters. Light spills through, and you fall. You open your eyes, Your bed, your room, the hum of traffic, the buzz of your phone charging, everything is normal, except your boots are muddy. There's ash under your fingernails, and beside your pillow, a single white flower. You live on, work, sleep, days blur, but sometimes, at night, you dream of paths winding through fog, and children with wooden swords, and songs hummed beneath lantern light. You try to write it all down, but the words slip like fish, still. Sometimes, when the moon is right, and your bones ache like old stone, you swear you hear the wind whisper your name. And you remember, you wouldn't last a day in medieval times, but somehow, you did, and a part of you never truly came back.